wildlife resources and their habitats should be conserved and protected.
Aron mapugngan ang dili maayong panghitabo, undango nato kining buhata. Mga kahoy protektahan ta.
A message of concern from DevCom 122 class, DexO, and this station.
Let x be a number which exceeds its square by the greatest possible quantity. Then x is equal to... Okay, class, what will happen if you mix 3 pieces of kamote, 2 pieces of saba, and 1 piece of gabi? Ilang kamote ang kakainin mo?
Ma'am, it will become ginataan or binignit. Well, 3 pieces pa din ng kamote ang kakainin ko.
Listen to Matsaya with Sir Raymond.
Only here at DYDC-FM 104.7, your development campus radio.
There's a song deep inside I can't erase. It's all about this amazing place, a home that we all can share. Listen to the music, see the sights to see. We got a very scenic university. VSU in my heart, VSU in my heart. Listen to the music, sing with us a song. BSU in my heart.
There is so much this school has given me, the sunsets and truths beside commodity. Oh, how can I repay?
Listen to the music, sing it here, it's here at the Versailles State University. VSU in my heart, VSU in my heart. Listen to the music, sing with us a song. VSU in my heart.
Well, it's here at the Visayas State University.
VSU in my heart, VSU in my heart. Listen to the music, sing with us a song. VSU in my heart, VSU in my heart,
VSU in my heart.
I was walking down the road one day. Happy people smile along the way, and the sceneries turn on my fantasy. There's a lot of opportunities that point me to who I could be. It's a life-changing university. beautiful, it's true. But I have one thing to say to you. I believe there is more to what you see. You call it beautiful, it's true. But I have one thing to say to you. I believe that we all should make it known. You call it paradise, but I call it home. I call it home. I call it home. I call it home. Yeah. My weary heart soars high like an eagle in the sky when I look into your eyes.
The sunset's warm embrace
104.7
till I
KDD
in many ways, and it comes as no surprise.
Alright, good afternoon, and check our time there. It's already 4:17 in the afternoon. Welcome to our program. This is Matsaya. Kauban ng inyong teacher sa kahanginan. This is Sir Raymond. Yes, usa na pod ka oras ang ato pag-aubanan mga ka-DYD sig mga kahigalan sa kahanginan. Usa na pod ka pagtulunan ang inyong makataunan. And this afternoon, our topic, we'll be talking about data gathering and organizing data. Right, good afternoon sa akong makajantihan diha karon nga nag-join sa ato Facebook or sa ato YouTube live. And I hope nga maka-answer niya mo later on no, sa inyong module. Alright, so ito pa rin kamutan na nga matabangan mo nato or matabangan mo namo no, sa inyong pag-answer sa inyong mga module diha karon. I'm sure that ilab na sa ito mga first year students taking up the course of Mathematics in the Modern World. This is part of your module number 3, lesson 1. Alright, so ito na pagkasugdan no, ang pag-discuss sa discussion karon. Once again, good afternoon to all our viewers, to all of our listeners. I hope nga maminaw mo diha ano. Alright, so ato discussion karon, ato topic once again, we'll be talking about data gathering and organizing data. Once again, this is lesson number 1 for module number 3. Alright, so our learning outcomes are the following. We should be able to differentiate between qualitative data and quantitative data. Classify data according to the 4 levels of measurement. Later on, you will know what are these 4 levels of measurement. Number 3 is to represent data in frequency distributions graphically using histograms and frequency polygons. Okay, so as we all know, this part is this lesson, no, is the introductory part of the statistics. So it is important for us to learn stat or statistics because so many of the decisions that we make in everyday life are based on statistics. People may not realize, but statistics permeates most of the decisions or decision making we do each day. So yung anak ka-importante no ang we have to study this topic kay in everyday life, in everyday nga to nga activities no, we are bound not to use this. However, students, practitioners, business managers, and even executives are scared of statistics for years. Kaya ingon pa nila nga daghang computations, daghang formula, daghang mga data no nga imo i-analyze. So regardless of how much you dislike or you hate the subject or you hate the topic, there is no escape from numeracy. Your weekly allowance, your savings, the chance of winning lotto or getting a GPA of 1 or a passing grade, these all involve numbers and their manipulations. So for example, if you wanted to have a flat 1 in your grade, so naakay prediction nga himuon ana, and you have to use the data, you have to use also your knowledge in statistics. Okay, so remember that good decision making relies on critical thinking, and critical thinking relies to a large extent on numeracy. Okay, so as your understanding of how numbers affect your life improves, your decision making about everyday matters improve as well.
My tomorrow's are brighter than my yesterdays.
So today, statistics plays an ever-increasing important role for business managers. These decision makers use statistics to present and describe data and information properly, draw conclusions about large populations using information collected from samples. So we don't need actually to gather our data from the population. Now we can actually predict the decision, or we can make decision or draw conclusions about the large population using only the collected data from our samples. And of course, we can make reliable forecasts or predictions about a business activity. So here we are going to describe and differentiate descriptive and inferential. Now these are the two types of statistics, the descriptive and inferential. And our lesson for today falls on descriptive statistics. So descriptive talks about the collecting, summarizing, and describing data, while inferential statistics talks about drawing conclusions and or making decisions concerning a population based on a sample data. Okay, so descriptive statistics, again, talks about how to collect data, so using the survey questionnaire or interviews, then presenting data using table or graph, right? And using finding the mean, the mode, or even the median of your data. Okay, so inferential, na mo gamit na diha ang mga hypothesis testing, the estimation, and then drawing a conclusion, using the results coming from our sample. Okay, so and then we have this vocabulary or the definition of terms. You have to know or to understand these terms. What is a variable, what is a data, and operational definitions of other terms in this lesson. So a variable is a characteristics of an item or individual, and data are the different values associated with a variable.
I believe there is more to what you see. You call it paradise, but
Alright, so we have also the population. This consists of all the items, Kung, for example, if you are saying, or if you are getting the information of all VSU students, so you have to get all the information from all students enrolled in VSU. For a sample, siguro mokuha lang ka og students nga dili jud tanan nimo kuhaon.
came back to me.
Let's say, for example, you are only getting a portion of the population, a portion of the students enrolled in VSU. And then we have also parameter is a numerical measure that describes a characteristics of a population. And then statistic, a numerical measure that describes a characteristic of a sample. So here, in our diagram, makita na to kung unsa ang population and unsa ang sample. So ang population kana sila tanan nga naa sa circle. Then when we say sample, those are the red colored figure, mao na siyang ato sample. Okay? So mao na siya ang representation of sample and population. And then we have two types of variables, the categorical and the numerical. And in some references, mao na siya ang gitawag nga qualitative and quantitative. Okay? So, mao na siya ang categorical or numerical. So, ang categorical or the qualitative variables have values that can only be placed into categories such as yes or no, unsa pa kanang basta mga category lang no ang answer niya. Numerical variables have values that represent quantities. So naa natin makakuha ang makita nga figures ana no like mga 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. So these are the types of variables, no? So the data, then ang data is divided into two, categorical and numerical. Then ang numerical, gi-divide na po siya into two, the discrete and the continuous. Okay? So ang discrete examples ani are the number of children. So let's say for example, how many are you, no? Or pila man mo ka siblings sa inyo family. So for example, you can say that you are 5, 6, and so on. Okay? So dili man ka makaingon niya 5.5, 5.2 and so on. So di ba? So kana siya example discrete na siya. Defects per hour. So let's say for example, in a company or in a production or in a factory of kanang stuffed toys, no? Pila man ang guba or depekto in 1 hour, no? So in per 100 na siguro yung mga duha or tulo nga gubaan na. So kana discrete na siya. Okay? And then when we say also continuous, examples ani are weight, height, voltage, no, the measured, this is measured characteristics, okay? So ang discrete counted items na siya maihap nimo, no? Na siya absolute figure, absolute value. Okay, so and usually counting numbers ang gamiton ani, no, in specifically ang kaning discrete. Then we have 4 levels of measurement. Okay, so we have 4 levels of measurement. So the first level is the nominal scale. This classifies data into distinct categories in which no ranking is implied. Okay, so example, personal computer ownership, yes or no? So naa kay computer or wala. Type of stocks owned, growth value or others. Internet provided, so internet provider, so Globe, Buy&Tel, PLDT, Smart and so on. So categories or gender, di ba? Or religion. So these are example of nominal scale. For the second one, the ordinal scale classifies data into distinct categories in which ranking is implied. Okay? So example, student class designation. So freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, senior high school, primary, and so on, no? So product satisfaction. So satisfied ba ka? No, or neutral lang or unsatisfied, okay? Or faculty rank, instructor, professor, assistant professor, associate professor. So kani sila, these are examples nga naka-order, meaning na ay ranking, no? Importante ang ranking ani. Or for example, pangutanon ka ikapila man ka sa inyo magsuon, no? First ba ka, second child, third child, and so on. So naa siya order, naa siya ranking. Or sa race, sa competition, ikapila man ka nga place, first, second, third, and so on. So this is an example of ordinal scale.
It may start to shine lows, but we may never know the things that lie ahead.
The time may swiftly fly, we may have to say goodbye, but your friendships never end.
When I'm down and blue, my heart goes back to this place to start anew. When I'm with you, I see color in everything, makes all as gray. When I'm with you.
Okay, so next part is, or next level of measurement is the interval scale. No, unsa man ang interval scale?
No
So interval scale is an ordered scale in which the difference between measurements is meaningful quantity, but the measurements do not have a true 0 point. And a ratio scale is an ordered scale in which the difference between the measurements is a meaningful quantity and the measurements have a true 0 point. So most students will have a difficulty in differentiating unsa or kinsa si interval scale o kinsa si ratio scale. So para mahibaw na nato yung mga examples. So unsa may examples diha ang ato makitaan. So kani sila mo ng example ni interval og ni ratio scale, no? So we have there a temperature in degrees or Celsius or Fahrenheit. Interval na siya. No, kay kana sila temperature does not have or that do not have true 0 point. No, kay kung mayong tag 0 degrees Celsius na siya temperature, 0 lang. No, it doesn't mean nga 0 mean mo yung ka nga walay temperature, no? So lahi na siya meaning, di ba? So I hope that na nakasunod mo, no? So for example, mo siya 0 temperature or 0 degrees Celsius. 0 means nga na diha ana siya temperature. Because in some case kung sa ratio pa lang na siya, mo yung siya 0, 0 means nothing, di ba? Okay, so maana siya. Let's say for example, mo yung kag 0 ang height. So meaning wala dai siya height, meaning wala siya nag-exist. No, okay. Tanan man siguro na ay height, di ba? Oo. So kung mayong tag temperature, mo tag 0, meaning interval siya because ang 0, mayong tag 0 degrees Celsius, naa siya temperature. Dili bot pasabot nga kung 0 degrees Celsius, wala dai temperature, no. Naa siya temperature but 0 degrees Celsius. And this is the freezing, no? Kung tag 100 degrees Celsius, that's the boiling point. So, lahi po na siya ang 0. So, standardized exam, interval gihapon ni siya. Okay, let's say for example, ang inyo score sa exam, 0. Lahi man po na siya, yes, nakatake ka, pero ang imo score, 0 gihapon. Meaning, wala kay nakuha, wala kay correct answer, no? So, 0 ang imo score. Examples of ratio are height, weight, age, and salary. Okay, let's say for example, yung kaog ka ng salary nimo 0, 0 jud, nothing, wala kay sweldo. Kung yung kag age in years, yung kag 0, so meaning wala pa kakaabot og 1 year. Kung in days, 0 days or 0 day, so wala pa kakaabot og day, probably hours or minutes pa lang. Okay? Next, we have organizing our categorical data, no? So a summary table indicates the frequency, amount, or percentage of items in a set of categories so that you can see differences between categories. Okay, so for example, how do you spend the holidays? So naakay percentage kasagaran man god, most especially mga surveys, no, ing ani ang ipakita ninyo nga table, mga percentage. So let's say for example, how do you spend the holidays? At home with family. So let's say for example, out of 100%, 45% of the surveyed respondents said that they are just going to spend their holidays with their family at home. Then 38% said travel to visit family. Then 5% vacation, 5% catching up on work, and others 7%. Okay, so using the table, we can easily detect and we can easily determine how many of our respondents answered this specific item, no? Alright, so in a bar chart, no, katong ganiha table to siya, no, kani siya karon is in a bar chart. A bar shows each category, the length of which represents the amount, frequency, or percentage of values falling into a category. So, mas makita nato diha ano ganiha natay percentage at the same time karon, no, naanay makita nato nga graph, no, kana siya nga bar graph. Pinaside lang na siya kasagaran to makita kanang pinatindog. Pero kana siya makita na to, di ba? Bisag walay percentage nga ibutang nato diha, we can easily tell that ang item nga at home with family mao ang naay highest percentage, di ba? So, bisag din nato butangan diha sa graph nga 45, 38 and so on, makita nato nga siya ang naay pinakataas, no, nga nakuha. And then using a pie chart, this is a circle broken up into slices that represent categories, and the size of each slice of a pie varies according to the percentage in each category. So yung ana, no? So makita na to nga ang kana siyang 45 kanang blue colored nga part, no, sa circle mo nang highest portion sa circle. And in most cases also, example for this, ipakita po, i-represent for example ang distribution sa inyo income, no? Let's say for example na kay income in a month nga 100,000. So from this 100,000, pila man ka percent of this, or pila man ang, for example 50,000 or 50,000 ang imo kuhaon. So katunga sa imo pie chart is allocated to a specific, no? Oo.
Oh, how can I repay?
Listen to the music, sing it cheer, cheer.
Okay, so again, that's a table form, then bar graph or graphical form, and then we have also the pie chart.
Yes, you in my heart. Listen to the music, sing with us a song.
Okay, next is organizing numerical data ordered, no? Sa kani siya ang start nato sa frequency distribution, so paghimo nato sa frequency table. So dako po di siya gamit. So an ordered array is a sequence of data in rank order from the smallest value to the largest value.
Yes, you in my heart. Listen to the music, sing with us a song. Yes, you in my heart. Yes, you in my.
Okay, let's say for example, you have the age of surveyed college students and day students, so 16, 17, and so on. So, una na nimo buhaton nga imo i-arrange siya, no, on in an ordered array. So, for example, ascending or descending. Pero normally, ang imo gamiton na is ascending order. So, mag-start ka sa pinakagamay ngadto sa pinakataas. Okay, so let's say for example, ma-distribute na nato using the stem and leaf display. So organizes data into groups called the stems so that the values within each group or the leaves branch out to the right on each row. So let's say for example, ato siya gi-categorize into the day and the night students. So ang stem niya, so mo na siya ang tens digit. Let's say for example, no? Ato na ay the stem, no? So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then ang iya leaf, mao na siya ang iya ones digit, ang ikaduha, no? So let's say for example, naa kay 16, 17, 17, then 18, 18, 18, 19, 19. So naa kay 1, unya i-follow nimo ang 6, 7 og pila ka buok ang 16. So kana makita nato nga usa lang ka 16, kay usa man lang siya ka 6 diha. And then we have 217 kay duha man ka 7, then 318 and then 219. Then for 2, naa kay duha ka 0, meaning naa kay duha ka leaves, no? So meaning naa kay duha ka 20 ana, and so on. So the frequency distribution is a summary table in which the data are arranged into numerical ordered class groupings. Okay? So you must give attention to selecting the appropriate number of class groupings for the table. Then determine a suitable width of a class grouping and establishing the boundaries of each class grouping to avoid overlapping. So sa ato next lesson, sa next topic, ato na siya i-discuss ang step by step, no, on how to make a frequency distribution. And then to determine the width of a class interval, you divide the range. So to get the range, you have to get the difference of the highest and the lowest. So let's say for example, the highest is 100 and the lowest is 75. So 100 minus 75, 25 ang imo range, no? So example, a manufacturer of insulation randomly selects 2 or 20 winter days and records the daily high temperature. So you have there 24, 35, 17, 21, and so on. And as you can observe, as you can see, our data there is not yet arranged. Okay? So una na imo na siya i-arrange in an array order. So from lowest to highest. Okay, so unsaon na siya, you have another way to do that using the stem leaf, no? Ato discussed before. So ato na siya i-organize into this order. So sort row data in ascending order. So mahimo na siya nga 12, 13, 17, 21 and so on. So you can see that the lowest value is 12 and the highest value is 58. So to find the range, that's 58 minus 12 is equal to 46. So that is your range. Then select a number classes, usually between 5 and 15. So we select 5. Then compute the class interval. Ngano 10? Because that is 46, the range divided by the selected number of classes. So imo gi-select ana is 5. So 46 divided by 5, then round up. So 46 divided by 5, that's 9 point something, no? And then you round up to 10. So meaning that's your boundaries or the limits. You have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and so on. Then compute class midpoints. So unsa may midpoint, unsa may tunga-tunga ni 10 og ni 20. You have 15. Unsa may tunga-tunga ni 20 og ni 30, you have 25. Unsa may midpoint ni 30 og ni 40, you have 35. Unsa may midpoint ni 40 og ni 50, you have 45 and so on. And then count the observations and assign to classes. And after that, so here we go. So this will now be our table. So 10 but less than 20 or that 10 to 19. Let's say for example, no, kay 10 less than 20, that's 10 to 19 na siya nga range. So na kay frequency nga tulo. And then next for 20 but less than 30, you have 6 and so on, 5, 4, and total of 20. No? So if you're going to get the percentage, yun sa man na pagkuha ang 15, no, nga percentage. All you have to do is to divide 3 divided by 20 times 100. No? So that's 3 divided by 20 times 100, so that's 15%. Then 6 divided by 20. No? To get the percentage, all you have to do is to divide the frequency by the total number of observations. Okay, so let's say for example, that's 3 over 20 and then multiplied by 100, so that's your percentage. And then, if you are going to use this, no, after the table, no, kung imo na siya i-represent using the graph, the histogram, the bar graph, the pie graph, the pie chart, or whatsoever. Okay, so you can choose, no, you can use that one. So bars of the uppercase highs are used to represent the number of observations within each class. Right, so here, so ato ma-compare dihaan na ay table. So ato siya gi-present ganihan using the table. Tapos karon ato siya gi-present using the histogram. Okay, so kana siya ato makita diha. So makita nato nga naa sa 6, no, ang highest, di ba? And then naa siya sa 25, no, nag-fall ang midpoint. Okay, so naa siya, meaning naa siya diha nag-fall. Ang 20 but less than 30 naa diha nakita nato ang highest peak. Okay? And then using the polygon, the percentage polygon, this is formed by having the midpoint of each class represent the data in that class and then connecting the sequence of midpoints at their respective class percentages. So ato gamiton nga ri ang mga midpoint lang, no? Let's say for example, ang 10 to 20, ang midpoint niya is 15. Ang 20 to 30, ang midpoint niya is 25. So ato lang na ibutang sa graph nato, then we will just connect the dots para makahimo ta og percentage polygon. So mao ni siya ang mahitabo sa percentage polygon. Okay, so kana siya. So ato lang gigamit ang mga midpoints, no? Ato gigamit ang mga midpoints. So in this percentage polygon, the vertical axis would be defined to show the percentage of observations per class. Okay, so nakay 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 5, 15, 25, 35, 45, 55, and so on. So imo lang gigamit again ang midpoint, no? Ang midpoint lang sa ato data. Alright? And then imo i-connect ang mga dots, then that will be your frequency polygon.
Oh, how can I repay?
Okay, so kung ogive sa to ipa-present, so this one is the ogive. So principles, no, how to create an excellent graph. Or kanang nindot tan-aon sa mata. So una, the graph should not distort the data. Dapat dili ma-defeat ang imo purpose because ang ila na focus na kay too much na kayo ang color, too much na kayo ang presentation, unya ma-defeat na ang purpose on presenting your data. Okay? The graph should not contain unnecessary adornment, sometimes referred to as chart junk. The scale on the vertical axis should begin at 0. So mag-start siya na siya always sa 0, ha? All axes should be properly labeled. So the X, kada naghigda, the horizontal, that's your x-axis. And kada nagtindog, that's your vertical axis. No? That's your vertical axis. Then the graph should contain a title. So unsa man na siya? Unsa man na siya nga graph? Kana ba siya nga graph talks about your distribution of your weekly allowance, imo gasto, expenses, and so on. Or ang imo time consumption, no? Using kung pila ka kaoras magtuon sa English, pila ka kaoras magtuon sa math, pila ka kaoras magtuon sa science and other subjects. So pwede na siya nimo gamiton. And the simplest possible graph should be used for a given set of data. Okay, so ingani ang mga examples on how to create excellent graphs or presentations. So like that, no? Bad presentation versus good presentation, di ba? Sa mo kaayo kay di sila ka-focus sa bad presentation, your viewer cannot focus because they are now distracted on the GIF kada nag-move nga mga figures, di ba? Imbes nga mo tan-aw sila, oy pila man ang kwarta nako. Nagtan-aw na sila, kanalingaw na sila og tan-aw sa mga nagtrabaho, naglihok-lihok nga mga figures. Compared to a good presentation, ma-focus dayon nila, okay, so na kay 0 to 4, then 1960 to 1970 to 1980 and to 1990 ing ana ang ako minimum wage. Okay, so ngadto di nila makita dayon, okay? Another one is this. So bad presentation kana siya. So naa kay frequency unya 0 to 300, no? And tapos A's received by students. No, libog siya kaayo tan-aon. Okay, compared to a percentage, so makita nato niya, no, sa good presentation, so makita nato nga okay, si SODI or si sophomore na ay highest, no? Highest. Okay, so makita din nato siya sa graph. And then, how about this one? Bad presentation, quarterly sales. Unsa may nakabad ani nga presentation, makita nato nga dili kayo nato makita ang difference sa quarter 1, 2, 3 and 4. Because ang imo nag-start ka sa 0, ni jump down kag 100. And in the first place, wala may nakaabot nilag 100, di ba? Oo, so ayun na paggamitan na siya. So why not imo siya i-chop, no? Wherein nga mas mudako ang graph o mas makita nato ang difference sa usag-usa. So sa second figure nato makita nato ang quarterly sales niya kanang black colored. Right? So sa quarter 1 wala siya kaabot og 25. Unya sa quarter 2 ni-increase siya gamay, unya makita nato na niabot na siya 25. And then ang quarter 3 ang highest, makita jud nato niya nga dako siya difference compared sa quarter 1, quarter 2 and quarter 3. So imo i-compare nga to sa first figure, murag wala kayo difference. Naamang gani pero dili kaayo siya ingana ka makita nato, no? Na visible. And then another, So again, as what I have mentioned a while ago, our graph should start with 0. So, bad presentation ang number 1 kaya wala siya nag-start og 0. So, good presentation, kung layo kaayo ang biya, no, let's say for example, nag-start kag 0, unya ang imo first data na sa 42, pwede rin abutangan nimo og kanang ingana, no, makita na to sa figure nga murag na i-zigzag. So, meaning murag ni skip siya diha, okay? Alright, so that is our lesson for today. So, mubo lang kayo ang lesson 3.1. This talks about, ang specific lang ninyo nga mahibaw-an nga ri are, unsa to ang duha ka categories, no? Kato siyang qualitative and quantitative, or the categorical, or the numerical. And then the four levels of measurement, the nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. And then how to present data using table, graph, or frequency table and bar graph.
You call it beautiful, it's true, but I have
Okay, so thank you so much sa naminaw no nag-join no sa ato live karon.
You call it paradise, but I call it home. When I'm far away, the memories bring me closer to a day.
Alright, so our continuation of this lesson on Friday, 4 to 5 in the afternoon, will proceed to lesson 3.2. And we will be talking about more on how to, the step-by-step process, no? Sa kanisang kuan. How to present data, no?
More to what you see. You call it paradise, but I call it home. What more can I ask for? I have all that I long for. Suddenly, all the voices came to sing with me.
And happy listening to Long Long Abanes no diha sa
But I have
Batu Leyte.
to say to you, I believe there is more to what you see. You call it beautiful, it's true, but I have one thing to say to you.
Alright, check our time. It's already 4:52 in the afternoon and it's time for me to say bye-bye na mga ka-DYDC, mga kahigalaan. Once again, see you once again this Friday para na po sa ato sunod nga programa sa Matsaya. Special thanks to the Information and Communications Technology Management Center for Norman Villas and DYDC technicians Luis Prado and Arnel Gosela. On behalf of the DYDC Station Manager, Dr. Cristina A. Gabrillo, and Radio Engineer Shanvel Gonzalo, this has been Sir Raymond saying bye for now and see you on Friday.
There's a song deep inside I can't erase. It's all about